We have had our focus in the last 3 weeks on the topic we titled The Rising Cases of Sexual Abuse. It is not a secret that sexual abuse is taking on the dimension of a scourge in our society. A visit to any high court assigned to handle such matters will confirm this. The shocking dimension to this scourge is the child abuse dimension, which is utterly abominable. We have also taken time to see how the elastic ambit of legal provisions has made it difficult to engage in abuse without consequences. Indeed, sexual abuse means more than rape. A sexual touch with or without your hand is sexual assault. That is how sensitive the matter is. As we close this series today, we pause to assess how potent the fight against sexual abuse or molestation has been. Despite the increase in number of cases charged to courts, we ask, how have convictions become a deterrent to sexual abuse? How well have the structures set up by private organizations to assist victims and even to enforce the law been successful? What have the police and other agencies put in place and intend to put in place to enforce zero tolerance for child sexual abuse? These questions and more are what agitate our minds as we try to make some sense about the issue of fighting sexual crimes in this episode and beyond. We recently heard that the Senate had passed a bill for the amendment of the Criminal Code Act. That was on 21st October 2025. The amendment provided life imprisonment without the option of fine as a punishment for child sexual abuse, while also removing the bar of limitation. It also brought about the recognition of both the male and female gender as capable of committing the offense, as opposed to the old order which recognized only men as likely perpetrators. This news, though commendable, was received with cautious optimism. A number of people we spoke to were unanimous in asking the Senate and the government to go beyond making and amending laws to enforcing it. They expressed that if our laws had been enforced all the while, societal values would be preserved. Child rights advocates and executive director of Child Welfare Action, CWA, a child rights and gender protection organization, Kayla Abraham, welcomed the amendment but bemoaned the weak enforcement regime. She said, quote, "Its success depends on enforcement. Nigeria has strong existing frameworks, the Child Rights Act and the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act, VAPP, but weak implementation continues to undermine their impact. We cannot afford this new bill to follow the same path of under-enforcement." End of quote. Indeed, nothing has impeded the efforts at zero tolerance for sexual abuse as a lack of enforcement, selective enforcement, under-enforcement, outright impeding of efforts, or whatever you call it. Many victims of sexual abuse who summon the courage to report to the police end up regretting their bold step out. Shabby investigations and undisguised compromise destroy what should have been a good case. These victims go back home to meet threats, stigma, taunts, and jeers. A particular case I witnessed in 2023 at a high court in Lagos State brought tears to my eyes. The victim, who was in her 20s, recounted her experience at the hands of known boys in her school. Sadly, the police flunked the case and the offenders were acquitted by the courts, even as the courts totally berated the police. For the fight against sexual abuse to be successful, the law enforcement agencies must embrace reforms. deliberate reforms, and training. Many private international organizations have offered training and other kind of support programs to the police in their efforts to fight sexual predation. In many instances, the aid is frittered away and everything gets back to normal. A normal which sees sex offenders walk free through the doors of the law. A normal which sees cases fail for lack of expert evidence necessary to secure convictions. And worst of all, a normal that makes victims go back home empty-handed to live the rest of their lives with the scars of injustice from a society that failed them when they needed a shoulder to lean on. Beyond words, amendment of laws, and statistics, we must rise to safeguard the future of our children and the vulnerable. Sexual abuse is a crime against humanity and against God, the author of humanity. And we must say it as it is. Enough is enough. Kindly visit our socials at Zarephath Aid. Follow us, like, comment, and share. I remain Ben Abraham, and this remains Criminal Justice Focus. Thank you.